Seriously, you can't be an imposter to something that you already are, but you just haven't embodied yet. I'm Faye, and if you're new here, I make content to inspire the uninspired. I'm gonna tell you why you're not an imposter. It took me a lot of courage to put my camera up and get this setup together, because I felt like an imposter myself. I can't release any content because I'm not where I want to be. I don't have the visual setup that I need. I don't have, you know, the resources that I'm looking for in order for me to, I guess you can say, be able to be aesthetically pleasing, right? For the last few months, you know, I've been in like you know, like almost like a mental brain fog, you know, when it came down to my inspiration and my motivation for content creation. I've been making content for over 6+ years, and my love for it dwindled down, you know, as life progressed for me. You know, it's like I had a lot of shitty relationships, crazy job transitions, bills, and life, just life. For several nights of reflection, you know, I realized what my problem was. Well, let's just say our problem, right? Because this will be a community that we are here to just inspire one another and, you know, be able to shed light on our experiences so that you realize that you're not alone in this. The only imposter in my life was me. You know, I say that because I have tons of content that I could just push out. I mean, years and years of content that I've created and that I have tried. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm sitting in my car, but it's okay. We having a chit chat. You know, I feel like for me, you know, when it came down to certain things and, you know, having like a ton of content that you're sitting on and that you're working on, and then we're constantly fueled by social media every single day, showing us new ideas, showing us new things that we should be doing. We have TikTok and, you know, our society telling us the way that we should be, or that we should be marketing or pushing our content. I could literally gather so many videos and things together and make something, but what was that little voice in my head saying to me when I was contemplating making this content? That little voice in my head was literally working overtime to remind me that I didn't have a job, you know, that my business that I had currently been working on hadn't been funded, or, you know, I'm still waiting on samples that I ordered that I never received, and that I need to move into a new place soon, and I don't even know or even where to begin on how to even get that in order. And I didn't know where my content was going to take me, and I still don't even know where this video is going to take me, right? In my mind, I was being a perfectionist about it, because I'm just like, you know, I'm not gonna be successful overnight, you know, and as bad as I want it and as bad as I want to obtain it, it's like, how am I going to figure out all of these things and be this successful content creator and be this, you know, voice of reason for people around me if I don't have anything to give? People talk about their success stories and almost kind of like how they did it overnight, but a lot of people don't realize the consistency and the motivation and the determination that takes in order for you to even have that. Actually watched another content creator's video, and I'll actually tag her or, you know, link this video below, and I was listening to Leah Alexander, and boy, she ate me up, and she probably gonna eat a couple of y'all up. But you know, I know you guys have seen this clip all over TikTok where it was saying, like, in this video, she was talking about, like, just do it. You know, like, we are constantly imposters of our own work, of our own critiques, of things that we should be working on. And she was just basically like, you still decided on the logo from 2020 up until this point. It's like, be for real, for real. By the end of 2024, you know, I knew that I would be spending, I didn't want to be spending another year in corporate. You know, I wasn't spending another year robbing Peter to pay Paul for $20 an hour when the sky's the limit on my own. You know, I just knew it was time, and now this video is your confirmation that it is your time. Oftentimes we beat ourselves up to reach perfection, status quo in our life, whether it might be the followers on Instagram, driving the newest Mercedes Benz, you know, getting that luxury penthouse, you know, just so that we can in some way feel secure. But in reality, we still aren't satisfied after we received all of those accolades or all of those materialistic things, you know. So you ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? You know, like, who am I trying to please? Am I really trying to please myself, or am I just, you know, or am I doing this for the bigger picture of my life? Really be thinking and sitting on $1 million idea that we just have not accessed yet, or even took the time to genuinely really put ourselves out there so that people can even make the decision, because we're so afraid of our own failure. We're our own worst internal critics all the freaking time. I just hope this video genuinely reaches the people that needs to hear it the most. You know, you aren't an imposter. You're just a byproduct of your authentic self. What I mean by that is that we are constantly receiving downloads every day about our dreams we have, risks we should take, etc., etc. Do you think that that just comes from nowhere or out of the sky? We are a direct funnel of our higher self. As simple as choosing a healthy snack that you want over a bad one. You know, your current self will feed your current desires, but in the long run, you don't want diabetes, do you? Already encounter our higher self just by doing things that we genuinely enjoy, whether that may be going to the gym, going for a hike, reading that book that you've had on your bookshelf for God knows how long, you know, getting rid of those clothes so that you can make space for new ones. You know, we are constantly ever evolving individuals, and I say that to say because a lot of times we beat ourselves up thinking that if I didn't do it 5 days in a row, then that does not mean that I've made any progress or that I'm doing well at all. You are a byproduct of your higher self, meaning that your flesh, who you are today, is just simply a byproduct of who you are becoming. So those downloads that you receive in your mind about that idea, about that business, about that relationship, about that friendship, about that job, about whatever you wanted to do or whatever you want to achieve in life is coming from your higher self. It's trying to push you into the direction into where you need to take steps in order for you to be a better version of yourself. You can't be an imposter to something that you already are but haven't embodied yet. We have so many content creators on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram telling you step by step on how to be your best self, how to upgrade your life, how to be that boss bitch, how to be that, you know, high level alpha man, or whatever you are trying to aspire to be in this life. You cannot be an imposter to something that you already are. You just haven't embodied that yet. So in this season, I encourage you and I challenge you to get to know yourself a little bit more, to really embody your higher self. You can't be an imposter to who you already are at your core. You know exactly where you're trying to go, and you know exactly what you need to do in order to get to those steps. Don't beat yourself up if it's not within perfection within 24 to 72 hours. At least give yourself the grace of being 1% better every single day. Book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm also going to tag that below. That book gets me together every single time because it just emphasizes the point in there's 52 weeks in a year. If you try to at least get 1% better every single week of those 52 weeks, you have now made 52% of progress of yourself. And of course, it sounds so like that sounds great, right? But we beat ourselves up about what happens in our 24 hours in our circumstances, and we allow those things to beat us up to the point where we don't even believe that we are capable of reaching the heights that God has in store for us, or that you yourself can take advantage of and take control of for your life. I always knew that this day would come, and I just was too afraid that what I would look like, you know, on the other side of my success. What would I look like on the other side of me being an actual content creator? How would people treat me? How would that look to people who only know me as Faith, their friend, Faith, their sister, Faith, their cousin, Faith, their old colleague? A lot of times we beat ourselves up about these things, and we cannot continue to do that. You aren't an imposter. Like I said, you are only a byproduct of your authentic self. And you cannot be an imposter of something that you haven't truly embodied yet. That this video, you needed to hear this right now. I want to continue to make content like this because there have been so many times in my life where I have spent the deep depths and crevices of reflection and trying to understand myself better, trying to understand how to be a better woman, how to navigate this life and things that are thrown at me as they come. And I really hope that this video touches somebody today, and so that they understand that you are not an imposter. Just because you don't have the money in your bank account, just because you don't have that grand CEO title yet, just because you don't have the loving partner, the friend group, whatever it may be, just because you're not a size 6, or just because you don't drive that nice car, does not mean that you are not on the path for you to become your best self and to embody your higher self. That would just be absurd. Go ahead and take a sip of my Celsius. And mark my words, one of these days, my video is gonna be all plastered over social media, and I'm gonna get a Celsius sponsor. My favorite flavors are Peach Vibe, Oasis Vibe, it's a watermelon one, Apple Fiji Pear. I really like all of them, but they be busting. Faith fam, I don't know when I'm gonna receive another download like this. I don't know when I'm gonna make another content video like this, but I just want to make sure that you take this video as your confirmation for the week that you are not an imposter. You are just on the road to embodying who you're actually supposed to be and who you are going to become. Right? Because that's what this content is about, and that's what my community is all about, is inspiring the uninspired. When you feel like you don't have anything, when you feel like life is defeating you, when you feel like you are unable to create the life of your dreams, just remember that the life of your dreams is on the other side of who you think you are not. Bye.